Hi, my name is Azawan Machage. I am a UNISA student doing my CIC 2601. So, the clarity of the lesson overview. The topic I will use is the preparation of a prepared speech. I use grade 8 English file additional language as my example. So, the lesson object, the learners will identify and explain the structure and features of a prepared speech. So, explaining of lesson phases. So the lesson will begin with the teacher by greeting them as since it's a morning lesson, and also asking each and every learner about their experiences with public speaking, if ever they have done their prepared speech in class or in front of people or on at the parties at home. So a short educational video on how a prepared speech is delivered was shown to learners by the teacher. He was using his phone since there was no smart board on the school during that time, so he used his smartphone. And also for some of the learners who had their smartphones with them, he linked the video which he downloaded from YouTube to their WhatsApp group which they created for this particular lesson, for this subject, to communicate over through the phone. So the aim of this was to motivate learners, to give them confidence on how to prepare speech, on how to stand in front of people. And he also explained the structure of a prepared speech. He explained how someone should do an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, not as much as how it is written down as essay, but summarizing the whole information they have written down, because he asked each and every learner to write down their speeches and also to stand holding their prepared card, which they have the smaller information which remind them, instead of them reading from the whole page, but also to stand in front and give their prepared speech which they have prepared at home. So the ICT in integration description. So the tools they use, since they do not have the smart board which they can use, they can plug for USD, they can use YouTube videos. They use a chalkboard and the printed out papers which the teacher provided for each learners, which had the notes of what is the prepared speech, how is the prepared speech is, how can you present a prepared speech. All those notes were written down, and also the topics which each and every learner should choose from, on which they are comfortable with. I think there were about 10 of them, on which a learner should choose which one they should choose, they can present with. So that's the ICT I think they use. But I believe if the school was developed, they could be using something like maybe PowerPoint, using presentations, tablet if they had ones, computers if they had ones, which will be helpful to them, because they'll be using Google Docs. They could record their presentation, in which the teacher could just listen and then allocate each and every learner their marks. But then, because of unfortunate of that, they did not had, so they used their they had to stand in front of people, and also to write down their speeches, and also to use their printed out notes and some of their phones, which the information were there of the videos from YouTube, because some of the learners complained about data and all that. So the CMR model application, since I've mentioned that there were no PowerPoint presentation which they were supposed to be using slide, so they use chalkboard, they use notes as I've mentioned above, and some of their phones. So the teacher and learner roles reflection. The teacher was very helpful, and he wasn't very difficult to the learners, because he knew there is a stage fright for some learners. Some learners couldn't shake the feeling of being scared in front of people and present. But then I think the teacher was being fair to all,